What is going on, collectors? Optical 20 back for another video review. Today we're going to take a look at Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe, and it's from Threezero, and you can order this figure and other G.I. Joe products at bigbadtoystore.com. I'll put the link down below. They offer $4 shipping, double box your item, and you can put this on Pile of Loot, so you can buy this and Storm Shadow and other Threezero figures and just pay $4 shipping combined all at once. So let's take a look at this box. It's a beautiful box. It's very collector friendly since it's, tiny. It doesn't take up a lot of real estate, so even if you stack them up. Now it doesn't have a shipper box though. If you haven't bought from Threezero before, that's how they were. And you can see it has like a window on the side, but yeah, it's a very small footprint. So, and the one thing that it does not have, again, if you haven't bought Threezero before, is a stand. I would say most Threezero figures does not have a stand. The only one that comes in mind is the deluxe Transformers, which is the die-cast one. They do come with a stand, but any other ones that as far as I can remember, Walking Dead, Game of Thrones, doesn't have any. Now, this figure as well, it's very close to my heart, this franchise, because I am a G.I. Joe fan. Growing up, I used to own those 6-inch figures. I believe they're 6 inches, and I collect them. And for whatever reason, I could not get Snake Eyes or Storm Shadow back in the day. And finally now in a 1/6 format, they are here, and you can see this. It's very weird that they didn't put the hands in a clamshell, so it's kind of like packed in a plastic shell right here. So selling this would be a pain, but I have no intentions of selling this anyway. I mean, this is $140, guys, $140, and it's licensed. Most, in a 1/6 format, there is third-party figures who are more expensive than this guy. So now let's take a look at the accessories. At $140, it comes with a bunch of hands. You can see fisted hands. You got trigger finger hands on both hands, because he comes with 2 guns. So you can have him wield the gun, either way. And the hand itself, it has some nice details on it. It doesn't... Now, Threezero, I don't know how they do it, but they are licensed, but they keep their price competitive to the third-party market. And I admire them from that. You can make an argument that their licenses are not that hot, but I would say, Transformers is a pretty big license, or Game of Thrones, or even, yes, maybe they're not as current, but still pretty popular. Now they got Stranger Things, which is, pretty current, but we will see how it goes. And you have some smoke grenade and, I don't know, concussion grenade or frag. Maybe this is the smoke. I don't know, man. But they even have damages on them. They have some weathering. And moving forward here, you got some hidden blade, and he has a knife. Again, they're not die-cast, they're plastic, but nicely painted. It's not just matte black that just looks like plastic or a toy. It has some texture on the handles, and the other blade, you insert it on his hand if you want to, do that hidden blade action that he does have. Now, he comes with this submachine gun. It looks like an Uzi. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section here. Looks decent. One complaint that I do have is the magazine keeps on falling off. It's a bit loose. So one solution that I did was I put a blue tack on the top, so when I push it in, it kind of stays by itself there. And you can see it has a foldable stock, so you could just be careful. It feels sturdy, but it's so thin that it could be a little fragile here. So, but the design wise, it looks good. It has a bunch of texture on it, some paint weathering as well, so it doesn't look like flat black. I hate it when they do it just flat black. Now he has a pistol here. It looks like a Beretta, and again, it has some weathering on it. The slide moves. You can see right there. Even the hammer does go down, if I'm not mistaken. You can also... This is a little bit stronger as far as the magazine goes, but, it still falls off every once in a while. And he does come with this... and this is an interesting take, because they made his... I don't know, sheath or whatever you want to call this. The one that holds his sword rubber. So you can kind of loop it in his body, and I guess it's not gonna flake. For the most part, those are the leather-ish part that is a little bit more fragile, but hey, it works, so I'm not gonna mess around with it. And as far as the body, I like the overall look. So what I did here was I basically put him together, because when you first get him, you don't have the smoke grenades around his body, you don't have that kind of like sword, I don't know, sheath that he does have on his back. So once you put it in, it's a little busy, but hey, that's Snake Eyes right there. He's a ninja. So he does have a lot of pouches. I don't really know what he put in those pouches though. I mean, are they throwing stars? Are they cell phones? I don't, who knows, coins. But yeah, you can see here a lot of things going on. So you like that from a from a figure, from a toy standpoint, because it keeps you busy. There's a lot of things that your imagination can run wild. As you can see, he does have ankle articulation, so it's not one solid boot. You could adjust kind of like his boots up and down, and there's no toe articulation, but he got some knee pads. Again, all rubber. It might be a good or bad thing. I know on Hot Toys, I might do a comparison video as well. Let me know in the comments if that's something that you want to see. Those things that around his belt are real fabric, kind of like what you would see in an actual figure. I mean, a human being, one of those things on his belt, on his legs, and that brings more realism, right? But at the same time, it depends on you. This is $140, so that they're made of either plastic or mostly rubber. The good thing about this is that it's not going to deteriorate as well, so I guess it's about functionality or as making it as real as possible. I don't have much expectations again for a $140 figure, so I can forgive any mistakes that they do here. Now, as far as the head sculpt, this is a different look from the Hot Toys version. This is more true to the cartoon back in the 80s, or I don't know if there's comic books, perhaps, but nonetheless, I'm a fan of both looks. I have both of them, like I mentioned earlier. When you say Snake Eyes, Storm Shadow, from a lot of people, that's kind of equivalent of, Sub-Zero and Scorpion. They just match. They just go hand in hand. And if you buy this, I would assume automatically you're gonna buy Storm Shadow. And think of it this way: you buy both, it's like $285, which is a price of one Hot Toy nowadays. So a great value. I was talking about the head sculpt earlier. It looks great. You can see even like if it's a real helmet, right? There's some fabric that's pulling left and right. So, when you tuck it in, especially when you have a visor like that, and you can see that on the ear section or throughout the head sculpt. You can give the illusion of it's a fabric or any material that's kind of pulling, tugging left and right, and they give a good impression of that. I don't know if you can hear that, but this is ratcheted joints right there. You probably won't. I think I deleted the audio, but yeah, ratcheted joints on the elbow. Even though you can see that, even though it's rubber, typically you would have some trouble raising his arm this way. But I don't know what magical thing that Threezero does here, that you could actually articulate the arms, especially the shoulders, to move forward and back. Look at that stretch right there. I mean, even the head sculpt, it moves up and down, and it's not cringy when I do that, because I know in some Hot Toys figures you could, like on a Spider-Man, you could technically push the limits, but do you really want to? Because it always feels like it's gonna break. Now, maybe it's the price here that I'm a little bit more loose. That's why I am posting the heck out of it, because it's $144. I mean, $140. So even has waist articulation there. It kind of bunches up, but hey, that is expected from a guy wearing, pretty much a rubber suit. But I am pleasantly surprised on the range of motion, especially on the arms. The legs, they're fabric, soft goods, so you could do some poses without any fear here. But I don't fear the arms whatsoever anyway. So, But yeah, look at this pose right here. He's just wielding his two guns, shooting. Maybe he's in the jungle, you know, found this backdrops on his movie, his solo movie. Now, this is not his suit from the solo movie, by the way. I just used that as a backdrop. But hey, works out, right? That is, I don't know if you can see it, but that's one of the downside of the rubber harness that he does have. He's wearing, as you can see, because it is rubber. It is kind of a stiff material, and if you can flush it down his shoulders, so it kind of like looks realistic. But when you're moving him around, like what I do have him now, you know, it tends to go up, and you know, this is what you do have, like a little space between the shoulders. And that's bound to happen. It's a toy. Unless it's, if you put weight on it, then it'll pull it down. But you know, at the end of the day, I can forgive that for the price that I paid this for. I think this is one of those instances where if I remembered, you know, I would have pulled it down, because I noticed that right away. But as far as posing, it's nothing you can, you know, you can't do. I'm pretty sure there's some things you can't do, but it's pretty poseable in my opinion. That you just gotta be patient and be a little bit careful, and I don't think you're gonna damage it. He does have that same rubber type that I feel like Threezero does. That it's more like I don't know what sorcery they do right there, but you know, it doesn't feel like it's pulling and tugging to each other. And you can see him holding his sword, ready to attack. This is one of the stills from his again movie again. And just a quick comparison here with Storm Shadow. That Storm Shadow came out pretty good as well. Now, with Snake Eyes, he does have another version, a Big Bad Toy Store exclusive with his red outfit. I don't know if you guys are into that. I'm sticking more to the more traditional one, so I picked this one up. Maybe down the line I will. But yeah, Storm Shadow has a bunch of, I think he has one more look, which is pretty badass as well. And I'm going to tackle that in the next review. However, I mean, if you're a fan of G.I. Joe, the movie, I know it's a hit or miss. You know, it's not the best movie that I've seen, but it's not the worst. I do like Snake Eyes. I do. I think if you grew up in the 80s or 90s, you gotta have one at least. And this is not gonna break the bank. Again, it's $140. You can even get Storm Shadow, as I mentioned earlier, and it just feels like you bought a hot toy. So yet you do have those two. You can go crazy when it comes to, you know, posability, ideas. If you messed them up, you messed them up. You messed up a $140 figure. Again, this is cheaper than most third party. Yet you're getting all of these things. Look at the accessories that it comes with. You know, 2 swords, 2 guns, you know, a bunch of grenades, you know, a plethora of hands. So you will have a lot of fun. Again, if you do break it, you break it. 140. I don't think they're gonna sell out pretty soon. It's very rare that Threezero sells out in figures. So, but I highly recommend this. At worst, you know, get this, put it on your pile of loot, and then decide when you're gonna ship it with your, you know, Storm Shadow. So, but again, thank you for watching, guys. Hopefully you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments down below how you feel about this figure. Subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitch, and I'll see you guys in the next video.